check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's up, everybody? If you go to Vegas, I highly recommend you to check this place out. Beautiful spots, a lot of great stores as well, like Nike, Apple. About today's episode, I ran great, and while you see some Vegas footage, I would like to say Merry Christmas to you. I hope you and your family are healthy, happy, prosperous. I wish you all the best. Let's not forget that Christmas represents the birth of Jesus Christ, someone who only did good things for other people, and hopefully we can get inspired to do the same in our lives. I've been reading more the books about Jesus in the Bible, and man, it's amazing how a guy like that, who only did miracles and good things for the world, ended up being tortured, crucified, and killed. But at least this can serve for us as an example that the world can be really mean, but we cannot let that affect the person we are. We cannot lose our faith in humanity, and we should always try to do our best to leave a better world for our children, our grandchildren, and next generation of people that will live inside it. And let's go to the episode. This session was crazy. Let me know what you thought about my play and my hands this session. Today's episode will be at the Wynn. Definitely one of the most beautiful properties in Vegas. One of the best poker rooms as well. A lot will happen in this session. And let's go. We get called for a brand new 2-5 table, and I buy in for the max, which is 1500. First hand in this table I see King 10 suited from the low jack. Middle position raises to 20. Here I'm either gonna 3-bet or fold. I will rarely decide to just call here. This is basically my range from the low jack when middle position open raises. As you can see, GTO Wizard does not advise you to flat call in position. It advises you only to 3-bet or fold, and I decide to 3-bet King 10 suited. I 3-bet to $70. They all fold and we win the hand without paying rake, because most of the 2-5s in Vegas don't charge rake pre-flop. I usually chop, but if you want to play 5-handed, it's fine.
Well, we're only 5-handed, so normally I would, but we're short-handed.
Same thing here, I just wanted to tell you that. Small blind versus big blind. We decide to play this hand and I see pocket kings on the big blind. Small blind limps. I raise to 20. He calls and we go heads up to a flop that comes Queen 10-7 with 2 hearts. I have no heart in my hand. He checks to me. I see bet $30. He calls. Turn is a 9. Pretty bad card for my range and for my hand. And now small blind leads $60. Easy call here, and that's what I do. I call. River is a heart. This board keeps getting worse and worse. He checks to me, and I decide to check back. He shows Queen 8 of diamonds. I show the kings, and we win the hand. I change seats. I was pretty sure that the table I was above average in terms of level of players. And there were many other tables that were easier to make money, so that's why I changed it. First hand in this table, I'm in the under the gun +1 with ace king offsuit. I open raise to 20. A woman in the cutoff 3-bets me to $70. Her effective stack is $500, and here there is no chance I'm not gonna 4-bet. The question is how big I wanna 4-bet. And because she has such a small stack, instead of 4-betting her for something like 220, I decided to shove all in. She folds, asking why so early. Next hand I'm in the cutoff with ace king offsuit again. Middle position limps. Low jack raises to $20. I 3-bet to $70. Only low jack calls. We go heads up to the flop.
Check in the dark.
Small blind checks in the dark. And the flop comes jack 8-3 with 2 hearts. I completely missed this flop, but I'm gonna still be winning pretty often here. I check back and the turn comes a jack of spades. Now there are 2 flush draws in board. And he leads $100. He's betting like 2/3 of the pot. He could be doing that with many flush draws. He also seemed to be a pretty impatient guy. It really looked like he was just gambling and having some fun, which brings me to think that he would be having many bluffs in this spot. And I have a great bluff catcher here, with an ace high and a king kicker. So I call and the river comes a blank, a 5 of clubs. And now he quickly bets 200. I gotta call 200 for a pot that will have $752. For this call to be profitable, I gotta be right around 26% of the times or more. And looking at him, I felt he would be bluffing more than 26% of the times, especially with both of the flush draws missing. So I call, he says I'm good, and I show my hand, and he started saying I got lucky by calling with this ace high and being good. and he started getting mad at the table. And I'm saying that because this is gonna add up some context to this table, because after this hand, things start to get more spicy. This next hand, middle position raises to 15, button calls, and I see ace king offsuit again from the small blind. Effective stack is deep, $1,500, and I should be really thoughtful here of how much do I wanna squeeze. My image at the table is already of an aggressive guy, so I believe they are gonna call me pretty often here. So I decide to 3-bet pretty big to $115. 3 players call.
Jesus Christ, I didn't have to figure this one out.
I want my cards back now.
This table is pretty fun and seems to be great. Flop comes king, queen, 4 with 2 hearts. Most of the times I'm gonna see bet here, but in this particular time I decided to check at least this one straight. They all check back and the turn comes a 4 of diamonds. That's a pretty good card actually. It brings another flush draw possibility, and those guys will rarely have a 4 here. So if I was winning in the flop, I'm still most likely winning in the turn. And now I'm gonna bet to try to extract value from flush draws, from king X hands, even queen X hands maybe. So I bet 275, little less than 2/3 of the pot. They all fold and we win the hand. Next hand I'm in the cutoff with ace 4 suited, hijack raises to 15. I 3-bet to 55, as I'm gonna usually do with all my hands if I decide to join this hand. Button goes all in for $166. Everybody folds to me. I gotta call 111 for a pot that has 243. And if you don't know it, ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited, ace 3 suited are great bluffing candidates pre-flop, because those hands have at least 33% equity against hands like kings, queens, jacks. This hand is just crushed by aces basically. Other hands like king, queen suited, this hand is even ahead. So by this price, that's a pretty clear call. I call, I hit a 4 in the turn, I show my hand, he shows ace king, and we win this one. He got pretty mad with the situation, and even made jokes that I made a pretty bad call. Of course, everything I explained it to you here, I didn't explain to him. Let him think whatever he wants. But by the pot odds that were offered me in this particular hand, I just had to call the $111 to win 243. And if you want to improve at poker fast, one of the best ways is to get individual and personalized one-on-one coaching with someone who knows about poker better than you and who is able to teach well other people what he knows. So if you would like me working together with you on your game, just check the link below in the description and follow the instructions to get personalized one-on-one coaching by me. And another thing you can do if your budget is not as good is reading my ebook. I wrote this ebook with a lot of care about you. Your feedbacks about the ebook have been great as well. And all you gotta do to read the ebook is click the link below and download it now for free. Next hand I see pocket aces on the button. Early position raises to 20. I 3-bet to 65. Little less than I'm gonna usually do. Only early position calls. We go heads up to the flop, which comes a great one. Queen jack 5 with 2 diamonds, and I have the ace of diamonds. He checks to me and I'm definitely gonna see bet for value. I see bet little less than half pot and he calls. The turn is a blank, a 5 of clubs. He checks to me again and I'm definitely gonna bet again. Now even hands like queen jack are losing to me, which most likely he doesn't have because otherwise he would probably check raise flop. I bet 165 now, around 2/3 of the pot. He calls again. In the river comes a 9 of spades. He checks to me. Now king 10 gets there. But I'm pretty confident here I should bet again. There is definitely value into betting. Effective stack is deep. I honestly don't know if I decide to bet here and he raises what I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna look at his face and try to take something out of it in case he raises. So I bet again, 375 this time. He thinks for a long time and finally decides to call. I show my hand, he mucks his, and we win this $1,347 pot. The woman in my right was being really nice to me, while the player on her right, that was the same guy that I made that hero call, was being a douchebag to her. So I kind of involved myself in their argument because I was really feeling annoyed by how that guy was being a jerk to that woman that was just trying to have some fun, you know? And after like 1 hour of that argument, that guy that was a jerk just lost all his stack. When he lost, he just stood up and like went away. It was terrible. Like, don't be a guy like that, you know? Be respectful to others. And because that woman was being so nice to me, she was being really tight and not aggressive at all. So instead of being on her left and annoying her and 3-betting her and raising her, I decided to go to her right, which would be a better spot for me to record, and she would most likely not be 3-betting me and pushing me around so often. And prepare yourself cause a lot will happen in this seat, really. First hand I'm on the button with ace-5 suited, 5 limpers before me, and I decide to raise really big here from the button to $55. I won't mind if everybody folds, which is not what happens. Only middle position calls and we go heads up to the flop, which comes an amazing one. 4, 6, 7 with 2 hearts. I got open ender and nut flush draw. He checks to me and I'm definitely gonna see bet here. And I'm basically betting so he can fold, but in case he calls I still have plenty of outs to have a great hand on the turn or the river. So I see bet $85, he folds and we win the hand. Next hand I'm in the low jack with king queen offsuit. It folds to me and I open raise to 15. Small blind, 3 bets to $40, but that's a pretty bad sizing, especially out of position post flop. So I basically either gonna call here or 4-bet. There's no folding to this price, especially playing that deep. I call and we see a flop of king jack 5 rainbow. I got top pair with a great kicker. Small blind C bets $40 and I call. The turn comes another king and I have trips. Small blind checks now, unfortunately, and I'm gonna go for value and I'm gonna polarize here. So I'm gonna bet big, representing I either have a great hand or a bluff such as flush draw, straight draws, etc. So now I bet $150. She goes all in for 420 and a snap call. River comes a 10 of diamonds. I quickly show my hand in respect to her. She doesn't show hers and we win this hand. Things are going great in this table and I'm feeling really comfortable. Next hand I see jack 9 suited from the under the gun +1. I decide to open raise jack 9 suited. Sometimes I'm gonna just open fold this hand here, but now I decided to raise. Hijack, cutoff, button and big blind call, so we go 5 ways to the flop, which is a pretty okay one. King 3-5 with 2 spades. I got a flush draw. I also have some amount of kings in my hand, like ace king, king queen, king jack. I'm the only player who has kings here in his range. The other players just called, so they usually will 3-bet kings, so they don't have. So I decided to see bet big here to $55, around 80% of the pot. Hijack and button call, so we go 3 ways to the turn, which comes a 7 of hearts. Now there are 2 flush draws in the board. I'm definitely not gonna keep betting here with jack high flush draw, so I check. Button bets really small, $45. I'm the only one who calls, so we go heads up to the river, which is a great one, a 10 of spades. Now I got a jack high flush draw, and there's no way I'm just gonna check here so he can check back. I'm gonna lead, so I lead out $185. I decided not to get greedy and make it too big, but now button decides to raise. But when he raised, he made a pretty weird movement, because instead of just raising, he put it 300 and then he put in more chips. So even though that's a raise, that's kind of a weird raise by him. So the dealer decides that his raise is gonna be the smallest raise possible, which is twice the size of the 185 I did. So he raised to $370. I'm feeling pretty bad already. I call. He shows 6-4 of diamonds. Having a straight, but a flush is better than a straight, so I win this hand. Okay, now if you really think that the stories of this session was over, you're not even close to be right. The lady in this seat started to wanna argue with me because she said she didn't know it was being recorded. But I showed respect to her and I said, if you mind me recording, I can stop recording, but you're not in the footage. And she wasn't, you know? But because she was bothered by it, I decided to stop recording. But even with that, she stood up and came to the floor to talk to the floor about me. And at this point, the whole table started to get mad to her because she was doing that and started to be by my side, saying things like, I will support you, man, or anything like that, because it was clear that she was talking to the floor, complaining about me, and soon the floor was gonna come to me. But to my surprise, the floor was really nice to me. He said, no, we encourage you to record, it's fine, but you can't bother other people. And then I said, man, she's not even in the footage. And then she looked at me and said, am I not in the footage? And then I showed her the footage. I showed her the pictures and I gave her my word that her voice wouldn't be in the footage as well. She moved tables, and in this whole situation, I couldn't even record a hand that I raised with pocket tens. The guy in my left, that was a really nice guy. He 3-bets me, I call, I hit a set in the flop. He c-bets, I check raise, he calls, turn comes a blank, I shove all in, and man, this guy folded pocket kings for me, which was an overpair. Great fold by him. Unfortunately, I didn't have footage to show you guys that. Next hand, I see pocket nines on the under the gun. I open raise to 20. Great guy in the under the gun +1 and cutoff calls. We go through ace to the flop, which comes ace, ace, queen with 2 spades. I decide to check, especially because I think under the gun's range is pretty strong, flat calling me from the under the gun. I check and under the gun +1 bets 25. I fold, showing him the nines.
Just for the vlog.
Just because it's you. The next hand, I'm in the big blind. Under the gun +1 limps. Small blind raises to 25 and I see pocket 10s on the big blind. I'm gonna 3-bet here for sure. I 3-bet to 85. Limper calls. And at this moment, I really look at Limper and try to imagine his range here, limp calling. I don't see him doing that with aces or kings. He might have queens or jacks, but I believe most of the times I'm gonna still be ahead with pocket 10s here. And now small blind shoves all in for $463. I gotta call something like $375 for a pot that already has 640. My average equity here has to be around 36-37%, so this call is profitable. That's a pretty cool spot for me, between folding, calling, or even shoving. I believe all those options are okay in this particular hand. And especially in live poker, you should always remember that the answer for all of your questions is right in front of you. The players right in front of you have the answer to all of your questions. So really look at them and try to get something out of them by paying attention to what those players are telling you through their behaviors, to what they are saying, and etc. Looking at both players I was playing, I was feeling pretty confident that pocket 10s was a call here. I could definitely be wrong and call with 10s and the guy shows jacks, queens, kings, aces, but the guy could have ace king as well. Maybe he could even have pocket 9s. So I decided to call, hoping Limper doesn't shove all in, but if he shoves, I'm gonna have to call because he has like 800, 900 in his stack, and it would be 400 more to call. Under the gun +1 folds, all in call versus small blind. He shows ace king, I show the 10s. We're pretty close to a flip here, and let's see what comes in the board. No ace or king, and I win this hand. A lot of great stories in this table, and I'm running pretty amazingly as well. Looks like that's not enough yet, because I see pocket aces again. I'm in the hijack, it falls to me and I raise to 15. Only button calls, we go heads up to the flop. The flop comes a great one, 9-4-3 with 2 clubs. I don't have the ace of clubs. I'm gonna still be winning the vast majority of the times here. I see bet 35, button calls. Turn comes a 5, not the best turn, but I'm gonna still be winning pretty often here. I decide to keep betting a pretty much pot size bet to $90 in a pot that has 107. Button raises to $200, so now I gotta be careful, but I believe that's a clear call here, and that's what I do, I call. The river is a very bad one, a 9 of hearts. Now any 9 beats me. I check, he bets $100, and there's no way I'm gonna fold to this price, so I decide to call the $100. And he shows 9-7 offsuit, getting really lucky in the river and winning this hand.
You got very lucky, man. Listen, I'm out.
And we finished the session winning $2,500 in 7 hours and 30 minutes of game. What's up, everybody? I'm here now to cover up my 2022 poker results. Right now I'm in Salinas. Today is December 31st. Right now it's exactly 7:36 p.m. So I'm here to do my part to tell you guys how was the year and etc. Poker-wise, even YouTube-wise as a poker vlogger. And one thing you should know first is that I couldn't put so much volume as usual because I started playing live poker in the US only in September, because before that, as you saw in a last video, I had a trouble to go back to US. So I've been the whole year in Brazil not being able to play live poker in the US, so I played a lot online and I made roughly $15,000 to $20,000 profit without rakeback. Before that, I also wrote my book. I'm sorry about the audio, guys, like I have neighbors and maybe you're listening to music, but I hope you are being able to listen to me well. And now let's go to my live poker results. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. This is my graph over 2021 and 2022. I'm sorry that it's in the same app, but that's the way I did. But next year I'm gonna make sure to put everything from 2023 only in one app. This is my graph. One thing I thought it was interesting to show you guys was my hourly rate, how it changed. In 2021, my hourly rate was $43 an hour, and now it's $102 an hour. This $102 was over 130 hours that I played this year, and in the overall 2021 and 2022, I played for 622 hours, and the average hourly rate was $55.97 an hour. But I really believe that my hourly rate is way bigger than that now. Just as you can see, that was $102 an hour playing in Texas, in Dallas, at the Watch Card Club, and in Vegas over these 130 hours. I'm really happy with this hourly rate in the games I played, because that's basically one of the best results you can have playing 2.5 and 5.10. And hopefully I can keep increasing that. My game improved a lot over the last year, especially when I was not being able to go back to US, and I could study more. I wrote my book, I could play online more, and when you play online you have it's way easier for you to improve your game, because you can study right away and you can actually play a higher level game, because online is a little higher level, but at the same time you can play more screens. So for example, I'm making $102 an hour playing live poker, but I'm pretty sure my hourly rate playing online is still bigger, because I can play more screens. I'm not sure if I ran so good, honestly. Like, there were some brutal spots that you probably see at the lodge, like a river card for a $5,000 pot. The biggest pot of my life, I lost for 1 out in the river. That's crazy, but that at least was a good story for the vlog. And the weekdays, the better weekdays of 2021 and 2022 was Tuesday, that I made $113 an hour, and Friday that I made $96 an hour. Again, on 2021 I made $43 an hour, and on 2022 I made $102 an hour. So even though I couldn't put as much volume as I wanted, I got to make a better win rate, and that's pretty that makes a lot of sense, because I studied a lot in the time that I was in Brazil without being able to go back to the US. I could study more, I could play more online, and when you play online, you play a higher level, and you're also able to study more. I'm using GTO Wizard, if you guys don't know it yet. Like, most of the spots I find myself in a doubt, I usually go to GTO Wizard to see how GTO would play, so I can absorb that strategy and be a little more knowledgeable when I make a decision. Because in the end, poker is a game that you want to make the best decision you can, but the more knowledge you have inside your head, the better for you to make a better decision, for you to be closer to the wisest and the better decision you can. So that's definitely something I improved with. Like, I am a way better player than I was in 2021. Hopefully in 2022 I can be a way better player than I was in 2022. And that's what poker is about. It's about always improving and never stop learning and studying and improving your game. Here are all my sessions. I'm gonna go slowly so you guys can see. This episode session is this one at the Wynn that I won $2,500, and in all the vlogs, like, you're seeing a guy that made $102 an hour playing 2.5 and 5.10, and in all my vlogs you can actually see how am I doing that, how am I playing, how am I thinking, what range am I 3-betting, what range am I 4-betting, what range am I 3-bet folding, what range am I 3-bet calling, and etc. So there's definitely a lot of value if you want to make a lot of money and play well and be profitable in live poker in 2023. My vlog is definitely a great choice for you to know what's my strategy and how I play, and from that play I am making like $102 an hour. That's a lot of money for 2.5 and 5.10. Usually when I was at the table, there were good players, but I usually felt like I was one of the best players at the table, and the results are agreeing with that. But poker is a game that you can never know what to expect in the next session. You should always be humble to the next session and to the next period of poker you play. Like, I can definitely go to Los Angeles, that I'm going soon, and start losing in Los Angeles. But what I'm going to try to focus is on my game, is on how I'm playing, is on what is under my control, and what is under my control is playing good. The cards are not under my control, so I shouldn't be putting so much effort into it. And yeah, like this is my 2022 results. There's people arriving. My 2021 results, I made $43 an hour. 2022 results, I made $102 an hour. Next year, in 2023, I'll make sure to have a better graph and to be more organized for you guys to be able to see my 2023 results. I just made a bunch of goals today. Today is the last day of the year, so I'm really thoughtful about what should I do next year. One of the goals is to be able to post more vlogs for you. This year I posted probably like 30 vlogs max, and that's not enough for someone who wants to grow on YouTube, and I'm gonna try to generate more value to you guys. Please let me know any feedbacks you have, good or bad. I'm here to improve as a person, as a YouTuber, as a poker player. I'm here to be the best I can be, and I wouldn't be the best I can be without your help, without your feedback, and without your support. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. The mission of this channel is helping you become a better poker player, and see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Leave questions down below and I will do my best to respond those questions. If you enjoyed those vlogs, make sure to share this content to a friend. We're almost reaching 10,000 subscribers and I wouldn't be here without you guys. Make sure to hit the likes and subscribe to the channel. The mission of this channel is helping you become a better poker player, and see you guys next time.